Okay, this is part 2 of our video on how to multiply polynomials. In our first part, we multiplied one term times one other term, which was a monomial times a monomial. In this video, which is part 2, we will be multiplying a monomial times a polynomial. And remember, a polynomial is just more than one term. Alright, in the first column, we're going to do a little more detailed explanation. In the second column, I'm going to show you my shortcut. My shortcut involves multiplying the bigs and adding the littles. Alright, if you'll look at number 1, all we're doing is taking the term on the outside, the monomial on the outside, multiplying this one monomial times each term that's in the parentheses. That one monomial times each term that's in the parentheses. Once we do that, we look and see if we have any like terms. Okay, this 3x squared is positive. We're going to multiply this 3x squared times negative 4x to the third. Then this 3x squared again is positive, so we're going to put plus 3x squared. And we're going to multiply it times 2. So all we did is we took the number on the outside and we multiplied it times both numbers on the inside. Then we just treat them like two separate problems. Monomial times monomial, then monomial times monomial. So we have 3x squared times negative 4x to the third. We multiply our bigs. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. X, 2 plus 3 is 5. So we multiplied the bigs and added the littles. Now we've got positive 3 times 2 is positive 6. And if you'll notice, the 3 has an x squared. The 2 does not have a variable of any sort. But since the 3 has an x squared, we have to bring the x squared down. That's your answer. Because ask yourself, is negative 12x to the fifth and 6x squared, are they like terms? The answer is no, because this is x to the fifth and this is x squared. So this is the final answer. Alright, now an easier way to do it, if you'll notice, this is simply the distributive property. And all we do is we carry our rule of monomials, multiply the bigs and add the littles, over with the distributive property. So all you have to do is say 3x squared times negative 4x to the third, multiply the bigs and add the littles. So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. X, 2 plus 3 is 5. Then you say 3 times 2 is 6. And since the 3 has an x squared, the 2 doesn't have a variable with an exponent, so you just bring down your x squared. So if you'll notice, two different methods, the exact same answer. Now let's look at number 2, our second example. We're going to do this the same way. We're multiplying the monomial, the one term on the outside, times each of the terms on the inside. So all we're doing is we have on the outside negative 5y to the fifth. We're going to multiply it times 3x, and I like to go ahead and write my ones here, y to the first power. Then we're going to take this same negative 5y to the fifth and multiply it by 2y to the 8th power. So again, we have a monomial times a monomial and a monomial times a monomial. So we're going to multiply the bigs and add the littles. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. We have both x's and y's in our answer, so I'm going to go ahead and write my x and y down. Now I'm going to look. My x, of course, comes first because it's in alphabetical order. It really doesn't matter. That's just in the best method to write it. Now if you'll look at my x, I only have one x is to the first power. So this will be x to the first power or just x. Then with my y's, I have a y to the fifth and y to the first. 5 plus 1 is 6. Notice I didn't add my x and y exponents all together and get a 7 here and a 7 here. You only can add up the exponents of variables that are the same. You have a y here and a y here, so 5 plus 1 is 6. You have just an x, so it'll be x to the first. Then here you have negative 5 times 2, which gives you negative 10. Y is the only variable you have, so you add the littles. 5 plus 8 is 13. So that's your answer. You have negative 15x, y to the 6th, minus 10, y to the 13th. Now let's use our other method, our faster method, our distributive property. Don't forget to put your little ones up here first thing. You do negative 5 times 3. You're distributing the negative 5 times 3. You get negative 15. You've got an x and a y in your problem. So it'll be x to the first, y to the 5 plus 1 is 6. You multiply negative 5y to the 5th times 2y to the 8th. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. And it'll be y to the 5 plus 8 is 13. That's your final answer. Remember, you did not have to write the 1 here. You could have just have easily written, I'll just write or down here, negative 15x, y to the 6th, minus 10y to the 13th. You didn't have to put the 1. You can if you would want to. I strongly suggest you put it in the problem so you don't forget when you're adding to include them. All right, here's our final example. Once again, we're going to take the monomial on the outside. We're going to multiply it times each term on the inside. So we're going to write it out here. So we're going to have negative 6m times 4mn squared. Then we're going to have negative 6m times negative 2mn. Then we're going to have negative 6m. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Then we're going to have negative 6m times positive 6. And then we're going to multiply each of these monomials together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put my 1s here. Because, guys, I always forget my 1s. And remember, I strongly suggest you put your 1s there as well. So we're going to have negative 6 times 4. We get negative 24. And then we have both an m and an n in our answer. It'll be m to the 1 plus 1 is 2. N to the second power, because there was only that one n to the second power. Then we have negative 6 times negative 2 gives you positive 12. M to the, and we have an m and an n in our answer. 1 plus 1 is 2. And we only have one n. So again, I can put the 1 here, or I can leave it off because I know a 1 goes there anyway. Then we have negative 6 times 6 gives us negative 36. And if you'll notice, there's only one m, so we put an m there. So that is your final answer. And remember, look, do you have any like terms? You don't have any like terms, so this is as far as you can go. Now this is our final one. We're going to take our shortcut. Let's go ahead and put our little 1s up here so we don't forget we've got them. Now we're going to distribute the next negative 6m to all three terms. So negative 6m times 4mn squared gives you negative 24. 1 plus 1 is 2, so it'll be m squared. And don't forget to bring your n squared down. Then you've got negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. Then you're going to have m and n in your answer. 1 plus 1 is 2. Sorry, 1 plus 1 is 2. And you just have n to the first power because that's the only one. Then you have negative 6 times positive 6 is negative 36. You have both an m, you just have an m, so an m goes here, and it's just m to the first power. So guys, I hope this helps you a little bit with deciding how to use the distributive property. You can use it in manner A or manner B. Stay tuned for our next video.